Welcome to Best Most. I am your host, Jose Jogo Gonzalez. This is the podcast where we ask the question, what is the best or what is the most? Before we record each episode, I ask our online community a question that our guests had chosen as our topic. I then go over the community answers with our guests, and we also discuss our own answers. You can submit your answers on the Best Most Instagram page. Follow best.most.pod to get those questions to join in on the conversation. Now, today's guest is the founder of Dagger Creative. He's also a producer and engineer for a few local bands' albums. In fact, he recorded and produced a song for one of my projects, Sleepish. He and I also collaborated on a music anthology. Our guest also had organized local music festivals, is a musician himself, an advocate for local bands, and a great guy. Welcome, David Antonio Garcia.
Thank you very much. That was a very flattering introduction.
It's all true. You're a good guy. You're an artist, and I'm really excited that you're here.
Thank you. Me too.
So our question on Best Most is, what is the best animated movie for adults? David chose this question. David, why did you choose this question?
Well, the answer was just like super easy to think about because last week, actually, my girlfriend and I were just hanging out at home, and I ended up just like kind of scrolling through, I think, Hulu, and I landed on Soul. And it had been like, a couple of years since I had watched Soul, but we had watched it together. It was her first time, and it just blew me away. It definitely made us both cry. And like, I think it just caught us in a good moment of our lives, a kind of good transitional period in our lives too, as we're like planning on moving and like thinking about like all these things in our life of what we're going to do next. It just makes you think a lot about your life and where it's at, and if you're living towards what you want to do every day.
Nice. So we'll go even deeper into your answer a little later. Let's go into the responses. It seems like you also got some responses as well from your post as well, right?
Yeah. I was playing a show last night, and then like immediately was like, oh man, I gotta get some answers about these questions for tomorrow's podcast. So thankfully, I put it up on my Instagram, and some people actually responded. So I got some good responses.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's go into it.
Yeah. So about the movie itself, or at least like what people thought. Someone had said, what was it? Like, well, they took the question a little bit like literally, like the best anime movie for adults, and they said Sausage Party. So Sausage Party was, in their words, my friend's words, they had said that it was just literally made for adults with like the adult sense of humor, absurdity, the philosophy and all that ridiculousness.
See, what I've noticed with doing these podcasts, these episodes, is that the guests might have a certain question in mind and how they perceive the question. But what's nice is that like how everyone else perceives the question kind of makes it more fun too as well. Like you get these different answers and you're like, oh shit, I didn't expect that, but perfect.
Yeah. And it totally makes sense. I mean, like it made me also think too, like, it's an animated movie for adults, I guess. And like same way that like Family Guy is an animated TV show, but for adults.
Yeah.
But, one could even argue like even a more simpler kids show like Blue's Clues can be for adults too, because, it actually, I don't know, keeps you entertained throughout the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But someone, or that same person actually had said The Wind Rises. They had said that, I believe that this was supposed to be the last Hayao Miyazaki film that he would lay his hands on. And of course, he went to go do, The Boy and the Heron, but this was like, just a great movie that was just phenomenal for its time too.
Nice.
Grave of the Fireflies, another Hayao Miyazaki film. Grave of the Fireflies, I mean, I remember seeing that like about 10 years ago for the first time, and definitely a very devastating movie, like how everyone says it is.
Oh,
So I definitely think that one just hits a really dark point in, someone's soul whenever you watch it, but definitely worth checking out, even though it's an animated movie.
yeah, I gotta check it out. I've never Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes, yes, Grave of the Fireflies, another Studio Ghibli film. And, I don't want to misremember the plot of what happens. So definitely just look it up and see what happens. But I think that's telling that, like, I could at least remember the feeling I had when watching it, just how devastating it felt.
I think the only thing I had seen from Studio Ghibli
Mhm.
was My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah,
Really good.
that was my entire childhood pretty much. Like my mom always, thinks of me whenever Totoro comes out anywhere. So yeah, definitely whatever. That was like my main thing as a kid
Yeah.
too. And then one more friend, they had said The Thief and the Cobbler, which I had never seen before, but I added it to my list of what to watch in the future. But they had just mentioned how just the traditional animation from it, and it's just very complex and beautiful, and the movement and expression is just amazing too. So I
Mm.
think in that case, for that answer, it's a little bit more about the technical aspect of it just being so visually stunning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's funny because when I go into my choice, that's kind of a part of it too. It's kind of cool how animation can be so expressive in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
as expressive as a live action movie, and sometimes even more so because you have less limitations as far as
Mhm.
like what you can put out there. Good answers, very good answers.
Yeah.
So I put mine out for the best most and online community, and this is kind of what I got. So Eddie Carmona, he said Cool World with Kim Basinger and Brad Pitt. His reason was Kim Basinger was a hot doodle. Also, I really liked Akira, and don't forget Fritz the cat.
Hmm. Never heard of that last one actually.
So Fritz the cat, that's kind of a funny one. So when we were kids, because Eddie's my brother.
Yeah.
So when we were kids, there's this one like a cartoon that was an adult cartoon, like full on like animal nudity, like animated animal nudity and like
Yeah.
hooking up
Okay.
and like profanity and everything. Um it's yeah, it's pretty nuts. You got to check it out. I mean,
Mhm.
if it's very lowbrow, like fun, I guess you could say.
Okay. Cool.
I don't remember the storyline at all. I just remember like, cat breasts or something like that, like something crazy like that. Or I was like, "Whoa, I'm a kid. What?"
Jeez. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. So John Estrada chose Animatrix, which is pretty badass. I remember that
Mhm.
one a while back ago. Rosa, my wife, chose Up. Her reason was makes me want to live life to the fullest with no regrets.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've talked about Up in the last, I guess, a few episodes ago, and with Stephen Joseph Craig,
Mhm.
and Up is dude, it's like it's one of those movies where you just kind of your lip quivers a little bit at the beginning,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
right, it's just undeniably beautifully just emotional.
Mhm. And that's the
Uh,
thing with these, Pixar movies, I guess, that we're seeing too, Soul
yeah,
and Up.
yeah, they're like masters at like bringing a tear out of your eye.
Mhm.
See, Kiana, she chose Shark Tale.
Hmm.
Sarah chose Inside Out.
Mhm.
Um, Inside Out is I don't know, those movies are pretty like all the same thing, like just beautifully made and like, relatable in such a big way.
Mhm.
Magdalena or Lena, my niece, she chose Book of Life or Rio.
Mhm.
I don't remember Book of Life too much. I
Mhm.
don't think I've seen Rio, but I remember Book of Life was similar to like Coco, right?
I think so. I think if I remember correctly, yes, it also is sort of like Coco, just kind of within Mexican culture, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Um, but hey, Rio's cool too.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out too.
Mhm.
Philip Lara, he chose Mad God. Reason is I'm going to go with the movie Mad God. It's a stop motion animated experimental horror film by legendary visual effects artist Phil Tippett, created over 30 years and released by Shudder in 2022. It follows the assassin through a surreal, nightmarish world of monsters, mad scientists, and torture, focusing on stunning, handcrafted visuals and a dark, dreamlike atmosphere rather than a traditional plot. The film is known for its grotesque and awe-inspiring practical effects, making it a unique and challenging viewing experience. This is definitely not a movie for children, which makes it my best, or makes it my pick for best animated movie for adults. And my friend Phil kind of like he admitted, he said, I totally copy and pasted that description from Google. LOL, I couldn't describe it if I tried. I think it's amazing that it took 30 years to make this. Phil Tippett is also the guy who did stop motion for Star Wars.
Interesting.
Have you seen that movie, Mad God?
No, I had never heard of it. But the description did remind me of another movie, actually. This movie called World of Tomorrow by Don Hertzfeldt, which was like a short film. It's like, I think 20 minutes long, 25. Visually, it's not the same as how Mad God is described, but it's pretty much like a stick figure type animation movie from like 2020, and like it basically just goes through all of the existentialness that we all just kind of go through as, you know, humans, and definitely makes you think too about again, if we're all kind of working towards that thing of what we actually want to achieve, what we want in life, what we desire, and if we're all making the right steps too.
Very cool. Yeah, and my friend Phil and I were talking about his choice, and I was telling him like Mad God reminds me of a Tool video that came out in the 90s. That was like a stop motion kind of like creepy ass video. So yeah. So let's see. Stephen Joseph Craig, he chose South Park Bigger, Longer, or Bigger, Better, Uncut, or something like
that. Okay.
I don't know if it's Bigger, Longer, or Bigger, Better, Uncut.
I'm sure it's all of it, yeah. I'm sure it's like a sexual innuendo.
Yeah. Reason, not just funny as hell, it's an underrated musical.
Oh,
yeah,
musical.
Yeah. It's actually really good. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I've never have. It's South Park related.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so good. I remember watching that movie in the theater, and I don't know, like I remember thinking like I was just cracking up the whole time, but thinking how like it was so weird to hear the characters actually use profanity in the movie, because in the show they bleep it out,
right.
But to actually hear that these characters like, you know, say fuck or whatever, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? This is a whole new world now.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I was never allowed to watch South Park growing up, so like I totally missed that entire train growing up, you know, but like so many people around me have watched it. So I've occasionally watched an episode or two, but you know, definitely have not been in that circle of that show. But I would love to catch up someday. Family Guy was actually my thing. That was more of like in a secret that I would watch Family Guy. Like I was always watching like Family Guy or you know, whatever they would show in Robot Chicken too, or Adult Swim, I guess, in general.
I used to like Robot Chicken too. Yeah, and it's funny. I think with Family Guy, I felt the same way that you probably felt with South Park. I felt like I was a little older, and I think, although it was like you're right, it's kind of geared towards adults, really. I think I just wasn't on that same radar, but I did watch it a little later, and I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, like South Park is one of those shows that is, because I watch it here and there, and it's still super like relevant. I still love it, and I can kind of watch an episode here and there and just be like fully entertained. So let's start going into your pick, David Antonio Garcia. What is the best animated movie for adults?
Like I had mentioned earlier, Soul was probably my pick. You know, I was definitely thinking about it for a little while, but like I said, like it just kind of was the first answer that came up when I heard that question, just because like I wanted to like actually confirm that was my answer. And I guess just like within recent memory, it's just fresh, and I just loved everything about it when I saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a like I was saying, like a movie that I just put on for dinner, and then we all just like my girlfriend and I, we just kind of sat on the couch and just watched it and really got into it, and it just made us think both about like where we are, kind of like in our lives and our careers, and like I mentioned, since we're planning our move of where we want to go to next, that's also like how we want to find like our our passion, and like hopefully it facilitates our passions wherever we go to next.
That's cool.
Hmm.
I mean, you both are creatives, and I think, I mean, I just that last time I went to your place and kind of like talked to you guys, I was just like, oh, they both are very similar as far as like your vibe, and
Hmm.
also it seems like you guys probably are on the same kind of like, I don't know, like the same path for slightly different things, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. My girlfriend Lex, she's a fantastic photographer that, I definitely fell in love with her as a person first and then as an artist second. And I
Yeah.
still am like just a huge fan of whatever she shoots and creates also because she is a fine artist too, creating all these pieces, whether it's painting or like just kind of in the vein of like sculpturing. It all just kind of fits into her theme of whatever she's working on. And, I do want her to always work towards whatever is making her happy with her passion because, just like all these things that we've kind of like been through in our own private lives the past 2 years or whatever,
Yeah.
living together and like being together, it just feels like sometimes we just lose that motivation to actually continue doing what we love doing. But, I try to be there to make sure that she doesn't feel lost or caught up in like, oh, what if people don't like it? But it's more like, hey, it's not about that people will like it. It's more like that you like it and it expresses the idea that you want to come across.
That's a funny thing because doing this podcast
Hmm.
for me, I mean, I've for the audience, I've known David for a good while. I wouldn't say super super long. He and I have kind of collaborated on things here and there, and I would say as someone who is creative on my end, I had, stopped playing music for a little while. In general, I have stopped playing music in a good while, but still wanted to be creative, and I think insecurities always kind of get in the way of of creating in general and can stop you right in your tracks. With this podcast, I'm an overthinker, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if people are going to like this, if I'm going to sound to this or to that, if it's going to be this. But at the end of the day, I really decided I'm going to do it either way because I enjoy creating. I enjoy movies. I enjoy music. I enjoy good conversations with friends. And, I think you really just have to allow whatever those obstacles that you're thinking about just to kind of like work themselves out. And they will, I hope they will, but like
Hmm.
do the thing. And then if something comes up, you deal with it just like you always do.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing is that we all kind of get caught up on not wanting to maybe sometimes start on a project or even finish a project because we're always striving for perfection immediately from the get go. But we have to at least try, and then eventually you'll get perfect, or not even perfect, but closer to perfect how you're envisioning.
Yeah.
So that goes for anything for the podcast, for, Lex's artwork, for whatever I work on musically. We all just kind of gotta try and see what happens.
Yeah. And we can't be afraid to allow something to be shit, like,
Hmm.
like I'm not saying it is shit, but like, it's just like when you first start learning how to write songs, the first songs are not always the most complex. They're not the most well thought out or just fully formed pieces. But as you continue to write music, as you continue to work on your craft, like it starts to like evolve, and you kind of find better ways to do things, and you got to allow yourself to grow, and you give yourself a little bit of like care and leniency a little bit
Hmm.
because you'll just never do anything, right?
Yeah. Tying back to like the movie itself, how it kind of, sparked this whole conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the movie before, have you?
I have. I'd seen it. I want to say I saw in the movie theater when it came out. I don't know why why I did. I
Mhm.
mean, because I wasn't a big like I'd watch Toy Story movies or like what is that movie called? Wall-E or
Mhm.
a few different movies, and it didn't really seem like something that I would like. It didn't stick out to me, I guess is what I'm saying. But I
Mhm.
did watch it, and I really did enjoy it. It was a pretty emotional movie too, as well.
Yeah. I think the part that just made us both kind of emotional was, you know, basically the plot is just a jazz musician basically faces kind of like a near death experience, and then is found in this plane between like afterlife and physical life, with the option of like trying to see if he could help someone find their spark in life. And finding a spark in life is not always the easiest thing, especially maintaining it too.
Yeah,
It could either like kill us in the process, or like it could actually just fade away, and we just give up. At least with passions, it definitely is kind of like, I would say kind of black and white, because a lot of things in life aren't black and white. But I would say when it comes to how you treat your passion and spark, it could either be that you could let it overcome your whole life and it kills you pretty much,
yeah.
or you could just, I don't know, try to determine something that like will help you keep going, but without maintaining it to such a crazy degree.
Yeah, I think it is hard to find. Plus, I think normal life gets in the way at times.
Mm,
Like expectations of what a normal life should be
mhm,
usually gets in the way of a creative person's spark.
mhm,
Like, oh, I got to pay my bills. Maybe this is like kid shit that I'm doing. Like I'm in
mhm.
a band. I'm 30 something years old or whatever, 40 something years old, or I'm just anything creative. And I think at the end of the day, like I tried to do nothing
Mm,
creative. And
yeah.
I felt like it just chipped away at my soul just a little bit here and there. I think if you're kind of in between, doing something creative and just kind of trying to live a normal life, I think it's good to maybe have a certain balance.
Yeah. And definitely just having that balance of a healthy, normal life, but doing your best to just creatively express yourself as you just kind of keep living your life.
For sure.
Mm.
So, my answer to the question of what is the best animated movie for adults is Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Mm.
from 2009. And just to kind of throw this out there, my honorable mention was Beavis and Butthead Do America.
That's hilarious. I've only seen parts of Beavis and Butthead too, so I can't even like really give an opinion on that movie myself, or even Fantastic Mr. Fox. Actually, now thinking about it,
Well, I think you're a good amount younger than me.
sure, yeah. For me, Fantastic Mr. Fox definitely was a movie that I remember like being advertised, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to watch it. But I remember it wasn't so kid friendly. Like it wasn't marketed kid friendly to me. Like when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10, however old I was when it was first being announced in theaters, and I just never watched it. So I should watch it because I know that the making of it was insane.
Oh, yeah. Um, do you like Wes Anderson films?
Barely.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Not that they're bad.
Yeah.
I think I feel mostly indifferent in the sense that like I enjoy my time with them. I just
Mhm.
don't feel much afterwards, I guess.
I really enjoy a lot of the Wes Anderson films.
Mhm,
The newer films, a little like you have to. I feel like there's a little bit more digging to really enjoy them,
mhm,
because it gets a little more complicated. Uh, but I would say Fantastic Mr. Fox does have the same kind of aesthetics as his other films. That's kind of cool that how it was transferred over, from a live action movie to this movie. Those aesthetics were transferred over really well. So let's get into it with that. Directed by Wes Anderson, written by adapted from a short story that was written by Roald Doll by Wes Anderson and Noah Baumbach. The cast includes George Clooney as Mr. Fox, Meryl Streep as Mrs. Fox, Bill Murray as Badger, Jason Schwartzman as Ash, Willem Dafoe as Rat, Owen Wilson as Coach Skip, and more. The IMDb summary is: an urbane fox cannot resist returning to his farm raiding ways and then must help his community to survive the farmer's retaliation. I I remember going to like a few Wes Anderson films and feeling like they were like events,
Hmm.
kind of like if you would go to like a Quentin Tarantino film or something like that, and just thinking like, oh, here we go, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect from Mr. Fox just because it was a stop motion film. I think it was his first, Wes Anderson's first stop motion film. And I just didn't get it initially. I went into it and I was right away pretty charmed by it.
Okay. Yeah. I could definitely understand that. I think Wes Anderson movies are definitely charming for sure. And, definitely like even just from the trailers or the little bit I've seen of Fantastic Mr. Fox, it does look very charming and appealing. And, I actually did not know about the plot. So it seems like a very, I guess rewarding movie in the sense of just the plot and how they kind of overcome that.
Yeah, for sure. And do you know who Pulp is? The band Pulp?
I've loved the name. I've never listened to the music.
So one of the members of Pulp, Jarvis Cocker, he's from that 90s band Pulp. He sings and he does a voice in the movie too as well. You might be familiar with the song Common People.
Okay.
So that's Pulp. But I
Mhm.
thought that was kind of cool too. And I was very surprised how that medium kind of works in such a effective way to kind of create an emotional just like response, and just like I talked to Stephen Joseph Craig about Anomalisa. Uh, these films are so like masterful in bringing these real life feelings, real life kind of connections, and it's just like it's pretty nuts.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I would totally recommend this one. So um, that's pretty much it. I mean, for me, did you want to throw else anything else in there?
Um, at least for the movie Soul, I remember also I was very hyped going into it because of the score, because it was being scored by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who are Nine Inch
What?
Nails. Yeah, yeah. A lot of the jazzy parts of the movie are written by John Batiste, who is just a phenomenal jazz musician, but Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did a lot of the more soundscape, existential sounding sounds, and it just fits the movie so well tonally. So, I was listening to it just by itself the other day too, comparing it to like their other scores of like The Social Network and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Yeah.
and they're just phenomenal at what they do. So I'm really glad that Trent Reznor took that step to try and make film scores.
That's insane. I didn't even know that they did the film score.
Yeah.
Or even that John Batiste
Hmm.
was a part of that too.
Yeah, yeah, it was 2020. So like the movie never really got a theatrical release. It just went straight into, I don't know, Netflix or whatever it went to. Which is a shame because
Wait,
this movie.
Soul?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Holy shit,
I'm
then I didn't see in the movie theater.
I'm pretty sure it didn't like get a theatrical release, or if it did, it would have been a very limited release. Because like I think that would have been like a really great experience to watch in a big screen. So hopefully someday I'll catch it on the big screen if they do like an art house showing or something like that.
See, that makes more sense. That
Okay.
makes more sense that I wouldn't go in the movie theater to watch it because I think it just didn't pop out to me. But I think it was enough of a draw on like streaming or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Very
Hmm.
cool. Dang, that mystery's solved.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that has been our episode. Did you have fun?
Yes, absolutely. That was great.
It's funny because there's gonna be a day when someone says like no, and that's gonna be kind of weird.
No, this was a great way to just kind of indulge on film because I would consider like a pretty big film person, so I do love just indulging in the craft and the the lore behind some movies too. So yeah, it's been great.
Cool. So David will be joining us on the next episode where we ask, what's the most influential band of the early 2000s? And also remember, there are no guilty pleasures when it comes to music, movies, and all art preferences. Love what you love and enjoy what you enjoy. That connection is such a gift. And until the next time, take care and take care of each other. Bye.
Bye.
Best, most, best, most, yeah.